Welcome to the Astana Times YouTube channel. I'm Asiel Satubaldina, and in today's broadcast we'll explore what's making headlines this week in Kazakhstan. Let's dive into it. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev addressed the European Union Central Asia Summit in Samarkand, which brought together Central Asian leaders, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, and European Council President Antonio Costa. With a packed agenda, the European Union and Central Asian leaders have agreed to upgrade ties by launching a strategic partnership between the two regions. To mark this new phase of cooperation, the EU is rolling out a €12 billion global gateway investment package. The funding will support stronger transport connections and closer collaboration on key areas like critical raw materials, digital infrastructure, water and energy. The summit also featured the endorsement of the EU Central Asia Declaration of Intent on critical raw materials. Speaking at the summit, Tokayev emphasized that deepening trade and economic ties should be a top priority. He said the country is ready to boost exports to the EU across 175 product categories, worth over $2 billion. Energy was also highlighted as a crucial area of cooperation. Kazakhstan supplies around 13% of the EU's oil imports, most of it through the Caspian Pipeline Consortium. But the country is also looking to the future. Kazakhstan is expanding its renewable energy capacity from wind and solar to green hydrogen, working closely with major European companies. President Tokayev, who also met separately with Ursula von der Leyen and Antonio Costa, underscored Kazakhstan's strategic role in supplying critical raw materials. The country produces 19 of the 34 materials essential for the EU's economy, including uranium, copper, lithium, and cobalt. He proposed creating a regional research center for rare earth metals in Astana, a hub to provide investors and companies with vital data on deposits, technologies, and development potential. President Tokayev's proposals found strong resonance with Ursula von der Leyen.
So today we establish a new strategic partnership between Central Asia and Europe. We're moving closer together. This partnership will make deeper connections between our two regions. It will lead to new opportunities for cooperation, be it in the energy sector or mobility, be it digital or tourism, trade or transport. And it will bring people together from across our regions. Reliable partners have never been so important.
In her remarks to the summit, Ursula von der Leyen pointed out the importance of strengthening cooperation in transport, critical raw materials, clean energy, and digital connectivity. She described Central Asia as the very definition of a global gateway, the beating heart of Eurasia. She recalled that the EU pledged €10 billion for the development of the Trans-Caspian transport corridor and announced a new investors forum that will take place in Uzbekistan in 2025.
But infrastructure is not everything. Smooth border crossing with Central Asian and South Caucasus countries is also essential to reach the Black Sea. After 3 decades of closure, the opening of borders of Armenia with Turkey and Azerbaijan is going to be a game changer. And it will bring Europe and Central Asia closer together like never before.
Ursula von der Leyen also noted that while Central Asia's rich resources attract many global players looking to extract and profit, the EU positions itself differently, as a long-term partner focused on developing local industries and creating value on the ground. By expanding cooperation on critical raw materials, already formalized with Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and now elevated through a new joint declaration, Brussels aims to attract large-scale private investment across the region. In another diplomatic milestone, Slovenian President Nataša Musar made the first official visit to Kazakhstan in more than a decade. As part of the visit, Kazakhstan and Slovenia signed memorandums of understanding in education and science, tourism and trade. During a meeting with the Slovenian President, Tokayev reaffirmed Kazakhstan's commitment to developing cooperation with Slovenia, a country that he described as a time-tested and reliable partner in Europe. Slovenian President Nataša Musar, in her remarks, highlighted Kazakhstan as Slovenia's main partner in Central Asia and a vital bridge for dialogue between the region and the European Union. She emphasized that in an era of growing geopolitical uncertainty, partnerships like the one developing between Slovenia and Kazakhstan are more important than ever. At the core of this relationship, she stressed, should be open dialogue, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to building long-term cooperation, not only with Ljubljana, but also with Brussels. Direct investment from Slovenia in the Kazakh economy has reached almost $200 million. 19 companies with Slovenian capital are operating in Kazakhstan in sectors like pharmaceuticals, engineering, telecommunications, and renewable energy. The visit also featured a business forum, which brought together 26 Slovenian companies, many of which already operate in the Kazakh market. US President Donald Trump announced a 10% minimum tariff on most goods imported to the United States and high rates on dozens of trading partners. Speaking at the White House Rose Garden on what he called a Liberation Day, Trump said this action aims to bolster the US economy and protect national security. Specifically concerning Kazakhstan, the US has announced a 27% reciprocal tariff on Kazakh products, reflecting the 54% average tariff that Kazakhstan imposes on US goods. Kazakhstan's trade ministry reports that 92% of the nation's exports to the US will remain unaffected. In 2024, trade turnover between the two countries increased by 4%, reaching $4.2 billion, with Kazakh exports increasing by 30.6%. The products exempt from additional duties include key exports such as oil, uranium, silver, and ferroalloys. However, approximately 4.8% of exports, valued at $95.2 million, including phosphorus, ferrosilicon, lenses, wheat gluten, and ammonium nitrate, will be subject to the new tariffs. In response, the Kazakh government is initiating consultations with the US counterparts to discuss the possibility of removing these tariffs, emphasizing its commitment to the principles of open and non-discriminatory trade as a World Trade Organization member. And that's all for this week's top stories. Stay tuned for more updates and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.